Okay, I think we're on. We are getting a new computer. Welcome, everybody. Trustee Millett?
Here.
Trustee Stroud?
Here.
Trustee Caputo?
Here.
Mayor Putnam is absent and not feeling well. Has a horrible cold, we think? Not sure. Trustee Fulmer here. Okay, let's open the public hearing for the tentative budget for 2025-2026. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I got a question.
Hold, before you start, I'll make the motion. It's supposed to be a motion. I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Sorry.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Sweet.
I was looking at some wages and, some line items that had wages, looking for instance at the golf ones, and I just wanted to verify, I did see after, later on, retirement and so on and so forth. So the wages that are here, that are projected, do not include the employee employer costs, Social Security, Medicare, and everything else. Is that correct?
For part-time?
That stuff is listed later on?
No, that's listed.
It is included?
It's not in this sheet that you got, but the trustees, and if you want a copy of it, we can give you one, have an actual breakdown of each individual by line item with what their salary is and what the, employer expenses are, like uniforms and, benefits. The part-time ones for the golf course do not get health insurance, but their, Social Security is added in there. That's all included.
Okay, but that's not included in the lines that have, say golf with employees. It's included later on, you're saying?
No, it should all be in here.
It's included in the total, yes.
Okay. Okay. What do you have for pilots? The Castle?
Just the castle. Yes.
So you have a pilot with a Castle?
Yes.
I guess the only other thing I want to say, maybe it's under public terms, is that something we talk about every year, and I don't think we've done anything with, golf passes for kids, for golf, for tennis, and for racquetball. I'd really like to get ahead of that this year, so when that comes up and this weather breaks, that we can figure out a system. I don't know what was done in the past or how we did it. I know we talk about it every year, but I don't know what was actually done.
I can tell you. Village used to get 10, the town used to get 10.
Yeah, that's what it used to be, I remember that. But that's something that I think we should get together with. I know the town is very much in favor of supporting those kids at your facility that has golf, tennis, and pickleball.
And that's residents only.
That's fine.
And that's residents only.
Right.
Not somebody that comes from a different town and stays for the summer.
Yeah.
Just a village and town residents.
Yes.
So what does the town want to give?
We haven't talked about it yet. Like I said, we talk about it every year, but we haven't done anything.
Okay.
Have we ever had more than
And I
20?
have to talk to the
We
town
never
board about
have,
what
it
they want to do.
includes tennis and, includes tennis
Yep.
also.
Yep.
And the pickleball.
10 and 10. And we never used 20.
I was gonna say, because there was usually a balance left over.
Back when they used to have a golf program, they used to have the kids go and go out with some people and teach them how to play golf etiquette and everything else. And then they'd come over and, every one of them would sign up for a pass at the town office for them. And with everybody out there playing, there still wasn't no much money.
I mean, I know the town said last year when we discussed it, that rather than give a bulk amount, we'd just like to come up with a system where when you guys have 62 people register, we'll pay for half of 62 people, or whatever we come up with for an agreement.
Right. Split it between the town and the village.
Yes.
Yep.
So do you want to do 10 and 10? Are you okay with that? Or do you want to do 10 and 10?
No.
You just want to wait
No.
and see how many?
We want to do it per kid that does it, you know.
Right.
Okay.
I remember years that we did 10 and 10 and there was money left over. I don't know who ended up with the money left over, but you know, I think it makes more sense to do it by the number of kids that register.
I agree.
Okay.
And if it costs us more than 10. So we're gonna have to talk about it.
Okay.
I just.
Now,
be, like, for my grandson who goes to school at Alexandria Bailey School over here? That's included, right, with, well, trying to get the kids in the village
Right.
that
He
go to
lives here,
school,
so yes, it's
live-
something that once
So
you.
you can't live here and actually not be registered in school for whatever reason.
I could be homeschooling, and that was another issue we ran into, is that there was kids that went to Alexandria Central School that did not Alexandria or the Village of Alex Bay, because the school district goes outside of those lines.
Right.
Am I right with that?
So were they included?
They don't anymore. They've closed in there.
Okay.
I believe it got closed last year. I can talk with Timmy again. Timmy knows. But I believe they closed the school last year again. It's shut down to it's tuition now again.
Right, I was gonna say, you gotta pay tuition, right?
So you
If
know
you're
who's
outside.
inside and who's outside. But there was no tuition. We had open doors at the school until last year.
Okay.
So we can wait and talk about that as we get further along. Any other questions?
My only comment, and I know you always hear about the past, the past is nice for, historical, whatever, but I think we need to be a little bit more progressive. The town is the one that has the youth programs and that does that. So I think, from my perspective, the village taxpayers are already paying for the golf course. So for us to give away 10 passes, personally, I don't wanna see it. As the person who, I'm looking at already, we're estimating that we're gonna take a $50,000 loss this year. We had a $40,000 loss last year. I'd love to see, there be an opportunity for kids to get a reduced rate or whatever, and I think that's up to the town, because they handle the youth programs. And say, okay, we give this much towards baseball and this much towards that, we're willing to give this much, and just have the people come to, the kids, come to the town office, and I can give them a certificate. Just you tell me what the amount is that you're willing to give up to, whether it be a full golf pass, or, because I'll go over the rates for this year.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
The one thing is that the town did not include golf, pickleball, or school includes that. School has golf program, school has golf program. Yeah. That's why we need to talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
We
my,
might need another joint meeting to talk about a lot of.
I didn't expect it to get solved or figured out tonight, I just wanted to bring it up.
Anybody else have any comments on the budget? Can we close this early if no one has, we're not going to it?
Make the motion to close it, yes.
Okay, we're going to discuss this further later in executive session, so I need a motion to adjourn. No,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
okay, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now I need a motion to open the meeting. No, I need to get my act together.
You're open,
I'm already
your meeting is open, just move on to your next item.
Okay. Starting with any public comments on anything that anybody wants to bring up?
I just, that would be me.
Okay.
We're just, we got some pictures here, if I can, just a concern we have about, some water flow from like drain runoff, being created right now at the sidewalk.
And where is it?
This is on, Otter Street, 28 Otter Street.
we were
We're
talking-
addressing that right now,
Yep.
Erica.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I was up there this weekend, and looked it all over. And what it is I think it's pretty sure it's our force main's got a leak in it. And you saw cut the road?
We saw the road.
We got the road all saw cut, and tomorrow morning, we're gonna dig it.
I've seen that, and I understand that, and it's been broke last year or whatever, but that's all good. That part's all good. But as we know in this town, you go down the hills and places and stuff, and there's where the water drains, catch basins and things, I don't have them. And it goes down my driveway, and it erodes my wall, takes the sand out I got there for softness, for kayaks and things, 2 or 3 times a summer. There needs to be a catch basin there, and there needs to be a pipe of some sort going alongside of the guardrails or whatever, because that's not our responsibility. And I can't have it no more. It's gotta go. Paul Lucas didn't give a shit. He didn't care, but I do. We bought the place, it's gotta be fixed. It's gotta be fixed right. I know you got a break, I understand all that.
We're gonna dig that.
This is more of an issue at this point. And I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of ways I know to fix it myself, but it's not my responsibility to fix it. And it's gonna take something to catch the water there and send it to the creek, not down my driveway. It, like I said, it wipes out my sand down there every year, it's wiping out the wall, it's eroding it. And if you want anybody to take a better look, well, come down and look at it.
I'll be around tomorrow, Todd. I'll be up there tomorrow anyway, Todd. We're gonna dig that,
Yeah.
get that one issue in the road fixed
I
tomorrow.
understand that.
And we'll look the situation over and we'll see if we can, see what
That's
we
a
can come
whole
up with.
different, that's a whole different animal I'm talking about.
Right, you're talking about regular rainwater and that running down the
That's
street.
Run off water.
Right.
That I
The reason
get.
it's running right now is, I know what the
On the
issue is for that, and we'll have that, that'll
I
be taken
spoke
care
with
of
the other
tomorrow.
guy.
Should be anyways, if not tomorrow or the next day, but we're gonna work on it tomorrow.
Yeah, because it goes right down the driveway.
Yeah, I seen it where it
You
went,
see-
Todd.
and it- Yeah.
I
And
was
goes
up there,
down
I
the
looked at it.
lots there. I mean, like I said, Paul didn't care. Paul's a great guy, but he didn't care.
Right, I know.
I do.
I can come up, like I say, I'll be up there all day tomorrow, Todd, and you'll be around, right? You be around tomorrow?
We're going to a sleep on the morning.
Oh, okay, well, that's all right, so we'll take a look at it, and then we'll get back with you on it.
And you'll see what I mean. I'm not saying I got it completely figured out or not, but you can line it right up inside the guardrail. And if you hit something there, it catches there, and then it goes down there, drops down, it'll go into the creek. And that's where it belongs, right, directly there instead of down the driveway.
Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I mean, they
Yep.
make all kinds of catch basins, you know.
I'll look it over, like I say, I'll come up there and look it over, and I'll get a hold of you Thursday morning. I'm going out of town Thursday and Friday afternoon and Friday, I won't be around Friday, but Thursday morning I'll be around. If you
Right.
meet me up there Thursday morning, we'll
That'd be
take a
good.
look at it, and we'll walk it, and
And,
we'll see
and you
what
know,
we.
guys, if I could do it, it was my responsibility.
Oh, I
I'd
understand,
be
no,
doing it.
it's rainwater coming down the road, and
Yeah.
I see the situation there.
Yeah.
There's no different than what's happening right now, the rainwater's doing the same thing.
Exactly. When you come down like Bolton Ave or this and that, the hills, they got storm drains, catch basins.
Yep.
There's none on Otter, just down Otter Street Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, they got them in Kenny Drugs, but that's the parking lot.
Right.
Theirs. That's basically my concern. I know there's a problem with the other, and you guys will fix that.
We're gonna fix that.
Figure that out.
We'll take that tape.
That's basically my only kind of complaint or what have you.
Yeah.
You know, other than that.
Okay, these photos are for us?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll keep those.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any comments?
Just for the record, since there's nobody here taking records, that was Todd and Erica Sanford that had the concern.
Mhm.
Could I ask you this? Do we have to stay through the rest of the meeting? 'Cause we got a lot.
No.
I didn't hear it, what did you say?
Does he have to stay
Oh.
for the rest of the meeting?
No,
you
no,
don't.
you're good, you're excused. You're all excused, Todd.
I've been there.
I thought I saw 5:30, so I'm sorry for being late.
No, you're fine.
Anyone else, any comments? No? Then let's move along. Correspondence. We have a letter from Gordon Court to the Village Board of the Village of Alexandria Bay. At the March 18, 2025 Gordon Court Board meeting, came to our attention that the sidewalks in the village are hazardous to the residents of Gordon Court. Our understanding is there's an ordinance in the village that each homeowner is responsible for maintaining the sidewalks in front of their homes. Numerous sidewalks are in disrepair and many do not remove the snow from the sidewalks, causing residents to walk in the streets. We have numerous residents that walk for exercise as well as go to stores or the library and other businesses in the village. We would like the village to take note of these hazards and to enforce compliance with the ordinance. Kind regard, Gordon Court Board of Directors, Suzanne Fayette, Chairperson, Linda Reynolds, Vice Chairperson, Lawrence Cullen, Treasurer, Rod Tidd, Secretary, Assistant Treasurer, Brad Millett, Assistant Secretary. Shuki, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? I know we've had concerns and we've talked about sidewalks and the lack of them getting shoveled in the wintertime, and I know we spoke a little bit with Lee, and we may end up having to do some sort of resolution like we did with grass about sidewalks.
It's not just the sidewalks being bad, it's not the grass being long, it's also about the vehicles being on the sidewalks too.
Right.
Parking on the sidewalk.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
That's why the wheelchairs are in the road when they go.
Because
The sidewalks are too rough.
Huh?
They're in bad shape.
Well, they can't get around vehicles, they go down, and they gotta back up and go around.
Gregor, are there any grants out there for sidewalks? There used to be.
I can check to see, there may be some,
Used to be
fairly close to school.
Used to be a grant called Kids Walking to School.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there was a Safe Routes to School program at one point.
Say streets and flood and flood.
Mhm.
Towns applying for grants for the redwood sidewalks. I'm not sure.
What did you call it?
check 'em.
Safe Streets?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that covers it. That's one of the ones that we're using for some applications.
Yeah, I know there's a Safe Routes to School program,
Okay, we can check
but,
into that.
we can just check to see if there's any opportunities.
Yep.
I know the sidewalks need to be fixed, but you also wanna think if you happen to get grant money for that, put sidewalks where there's no sidewalks, where there should be sidewalks. Cause we have a lot of streets that go dead-end sidewalks, and they go around the corner out to the next thing, and there's no sidewalks. They walk the sidewalk, have to go in the road around, and, they just completely end.
The street I live on, sidewalk up to the top of the hill, and they don't go the rest of the way up the street.
They're the ones that you might wanna look at.
My street goes to Kenny Kernahan's house, and they threw dirt and grass over top of the sidewalk, so there's none.
Right, but there's a corner.
They can't even make it to the playground.
Like Bolton Ave,
Same
you
thing.
get halfway over the hill and
That's
there's
it.
no sidewalk, you gotta go in the street, unless you're on the even side. It's
Right, yep.
But you almost see the crosswalk there or something, man.
ends.
And right at the bottom of the hill there.
There's a lot of.
Why bother with the last house, why bother shoveling it? Because you're not gonna go anywhere, you're gonna go in the street anyway, so with it, let them go in the street the next one out.
Yeah, but it's something we have to deal with.
Yeah.
Sidewalks, it's like, always been sidewalks.
I know,
Okay,
what was it, 25 years ago, or no, 35 years ago, they had a sidewalk program here.
Yeah, no people, that's all.
And
Rusty Hartman were in charge of it.
that's how I got my job at the village.
I was on the board.
Yeah, yep.
okay, we can check and see if there's what's out there for us. Okay, that's last of the correspondence. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 11th, 2025 meeting?
I'll make a motion that we approve the March 11th minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay. Need a motion to approve abstract number 10 as presented?
I'll make a motion, abstract that.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Could we have
All
trustee?
those in favor?
Oh, sorry. All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain, I did not have the chance to look at the abstract.
And there are bills in there for everybody to sign. I need one more signature.
I'll look at them after.
Okay. Trustee reports. Lee, do you have somewhere you have to be?
I'm 6 o'clock. I got time.
You can go.
Whatever, I can go if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Next Wednesday, the planning board's gonna meet, and we have 2 site plan reviews. They're both on Market Street next to Direct Subs. A couple retail businesses wanna come in there and set up their business, so I don't foresee any big issues with it. I've got the apps and, it's been advertised. I went to Tug Hill annual meeting last Tuesday, and one of the sessions dealt with reducing speeds, the mechanics involved in it. They had a gentleman from Labella Associates that made the presentation.
there's about probably 30 people in there, and I think they all had the same response that the town has had, town of Orleans has had, no. And he did present a lot of data on speeds and how people, survival rate depending on the speed and stuff, with it. And there's several different ways to determine it. Unfortunately, DOT has the jurisdiction setting your speed. The only place where there's some leeway if you are a suburban town and you need 25,000 residents to be created as a suburban town. And I guess the only one I know of is the town of Ray in the county right now with it. There's a little different criteria involved. I did email the gentleman, and I do have his presentation. I know it's a concern in the town of Ray. We're working with Senator Walczyk and Assemblyman Gray, trying to find out the best approach. We do have a town board meeting in Orleans. I don't know whether we can go together as a community, and if we want to bring this gentleman up, I don't know where they're out of, maybe Gregor knows where LaBelle is located, but a presentation, and he said, I'm willing to come up. Now, whether that's a sales approach to hire him to do, you know, that part I don't know, but it is a concern in New York State. There were highway superintendents there, village board members, zoning officers, so it's how the state deals with it, I guess, more than anything else. And the data, there's all kinds of data today, and you can look at it any way you want, you know, with it. So I'll leave this in the office tomorrow, and
Well, somebody that was there told me, and I wasn't there, that the law changed, and apparently that's incorrect, because you still, because I called Watertown, you still have to go through the DOT.
Yeah.
Okay.
The town tried to, we approached the DOT about speed limits on Route 12 in 2 different places, and also on Route 37. We presented petitions to the DOT with a lot of signatures. We ended up getting turned down. What the DOT did is they came and they put the rubber strips across the road, and they did a survey for 3 months. They collected data, they put the data in their report like he has, and their answer has been no to us. So the town would be very interested in proceeding with a group of people if we're going to try to do that. We had petitions in Redwood that had 200 and some odd signatures, so it didn't make a difference.
in our last application with Orleans, we asked for seasonal, like it is up by Price Chopper. And we did a little informal survey of the number of, I call it access points, not necessarily driveways, but like the bait store has 4 different places you can go into their property. So rather, we call them access points, and we counted the number of businesses from what we call Robinson Road to 81, and also residential homes. And in Orleans, there's twice as many access points than there is in the Bay section down there by Price Chopper. With it. And no one seems to be able to tell me who created that one. Whether DOT did, I have no idea, but it'd be kind of nice to know how that got started there, you know? With it, but
Well, I
they're
went,
tough.
when I went to Price Chopper the other day, somebody had complained to me that when you go down 12 towards Price Chopper and you go to turn your turn signal on that you're going to turn into Price Chopper, somebody was already in the lane that's not a turning lane behind them, and they almost had an accident.
It's the shoulder.
Yeah.
They got it
It's
so
not-
the shoulder's like a lane.
Right. People think it's a lane, and it's not. And, you know, that's something to discuss also.
Now, they'd only control main highway, like the main highway coming in, they couldn't control village streets.
Yes, they do.
I think they can.
Well, there's
Well, then how come Carnegie Bay to the village is 25 miles an hour?
Probably because nobody's seen it.
It's been like that for years.
I know.
That's the lowest you can post a speed is 25 miles an hour unless it's in a school zone.
But I talked to the guy in Watertown, I think it was Mike Burgess, and he said, you cannot put, because I said, I heard this from the meeting, can we do it? And he said, no, you still need DOT
So we'll
approval.
start maintaining our roads for us then.
No?
If they're gonna.
You're saying our village streets can't be changed to 25?
Not without DOT approval.
I don't believe it really should be in your village. Your own,
The only one I've ever dealt with them was Church
just the
Street.
main road coming down through under the arch.
They came in with me, and a lot of ours are, you know, I mean, they've seen stuff, ours is 25.
Where do we have 25-mile-an-hour sign?
You got one coming right, just like you just said, from Carnegie Bay, all the way in, and we join at the village, right at the corner at the barn, and it turns 25 all the way to High Street. That's a village.
Because I asked him, I said, what if we want Walton Street to be, everything in the village to be 25 miles an hour? He said, you still have to go through the DOT.
Right, but you
to
can do
that.
it, you can do your village, but you
Okay.
can't do Church Street.
Right, I know.
They have to do Church Street, 'cause that's where we ran
That's
into,
theirs.
that's where we ran into the mess. He said, we could talk things and you could work your own streets to 25, but you can't change, that's up to the DOT, Church Street, that's the only one.
I know Evans Mills is 25,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's-
and that's a main
You
street.
you can do your village, you can approach them with a village. I know you can, 'cause we did it. I think Jarrett was in with me as my foreman when we did it, and we sat with the guy, remember? We got in trouble.
Yeah.
But
So who can do that?
you can get
Jared,
a hold of,
DPW?
who's running that DOT out there now? The guy that does the, because they came in and designed our whole school zone for us. I had the guy come right here. They take your map of your village, and they come in and they design, and he went, and we went with pegs. And every one of those school zone signs, we had to pull them all. We had to pull every one of them was,
They said 15.
but, right, but I'm saying we had to pull them, they were all in the wrong spots. They are all specific measurements. They have a map right in their car, and they drive to a spot, and they drive a stick. And that's where your 15-mile-an-hour sign starts, or the sign behind it. All these signs out here, they're all on a certain footage to the school. It's really a neat program, and they have it right in their car. They'll have a map right on the computer, right in their car, and tell you where you can set stuff for school zones and stuff. They do all school zones, everything, the DOT.
Okay, is that DOT, or
That's the DOT.
DPW starts that?
That's
at
it.
our
We
end?
did it, the DPW did it with the DOT.
Jared, is that something you can reach out, start?
And we
Yeah.
should have a book over it when we did it way back, that many years ago for the
School zone, our school
There should
zone.
be a book over
Right,
there.
but then also talking to somebody about, we wanna lower the speed limit to 25 miles an hour.
Right, last time I talked to them, they said that we couldn't, but that was a while back too, so.
Okay.
I think the key is
Look into it.
you try to be proactive rather than
Yeah.
reactive.
Yeah.
You don't wanna hear you, you know.
That guy that was on TV the other night.
What's that?
That sounds like that guy that was
Oh.
on TV the other night.
Unless I have a text from Roger Reifensnyder saying he believes the village or town can acquire Church Street and then set speed.
Well, yeah, they offered it to us years ago. Then you gotta maintain it. Underground.
What they offer to you is they'll do the same thing they did up in Clayton. They'll do the program with you to do the water and sewer, and then it becomes your street.
They offered it to us a few years ago.
Probably 20 years ago now.
We turned it down,
Yep.
something we should check into again?
I
No?
don't think you want it.
Okay.
I don't think there's that much money in the programs right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to get streets away because it costs too much to rehab them. Something happened in that area when we were doing it.
Okay,
I remember doing it, somebody was on the board, I can't remember who was on the board, but we did it, and they came in, and they talked about it, and we did not sign. It never became a thing because ours is so major because of our cement streets and stuff.
okay,
That they really didn't wanna come in to rip up that cement all the way down and
It's all cement.
cause they gotta do storm drains, they gotta do sewers, they have to do everything, the complete underground. And then they turn it right over to you. And it's ours.
all right, anything else? Okay, thank you. Trustee reports, who wants to go first? Sandy?
Go first. So in our budget meeting, we talked about the new rate, and, I think we need to do this in a formal motion. This year, in past years, we've had 7 or 8 different categories for golfers. If you're a student 17 to 21, or just plain student, or a senior, or a non-senior, we're taking all that away. We looked at the numbers for the last several years, and there was a couple categories that never got used. It's gonna be student, 17 and below, a village resident, or a non-resident. There's not gonna be seniors, this and that. Students, up to 17 years old, $100 per season. This is for golf. For village resident taxpayers, a season pass will be $220. For non-village residents, it'll be $290. Our greens fees for this year, and I don't think any of those changed. It'll be the same at $14 during a weekday for 9 holes, 20 for 18. Or, yeah, 22 for 18 holes. The league rate this year did go up to $12. The cart rentals did go up. If you are a single, it's $13. If there's 2 people in the cart, it'll be $20. So $10 a piece if you're sharing a cart with someone. We'll still do the 25-round cart pass for $210. We're not keeping golf carts on the private golf carts on the course anymore. If you want to drive your private car up there and use it, you have to show proof of insurance. You're still gonna pay to use your own golf course, so you can buy the 25-round pass. The village is not liable for anyone else's, golf carts. For tennis and pickleball, village residents, students up to and including $17, $90. Village residents, 125 residents, $140. Day rate will be $6. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept the golf rates for the 2025 season.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Also, I've met with all the people, the majority of the people are returning this year. We do have, Greg Federley, that will be our golf course, I don't know, superintendent, what do you guys call him? Greg is coming to us from Lanebrook, I want to say Briar Hill. Lanebrook and Briar Hill, he's got his pesticide license. We're looking at finding a sprayer, a used sprayer. I don't know, did you guys find one? Because I told him to get with you because I was out of town.
He had found one, he wanted to get together and go look at one, but I wanted to wait for you to come back to make sure that we were on the same page. And
Can we rent a sprayer a couple times a year? You're only gonna use it twice a year.
why,
No, no. I mean, Hunter came once a month and sprayed, plus
Okay.
the guys were spraying. I
I
know the one that so there's several different kinds that you can get. You can get one that they can tow with a 3-point hitch that you can tow behind. That's fine for doing your fairways, but one of the main things that you need to fertilize at least once a month is your greens. You can't take a tractor across your greens. The ones that Greg is looking at, have they're like, almost like a golf cart with a big tank on the back. And the arms come down, so it sprays 12 feet wide. And it has turf tires. So you can do your greens with a couple of passes, 3 passes at the most. I think it will do everything that we need to do. So I'm not sure which one there was 2 that we were looking at, I know. So that's our plan. That way, I've talked to Hunter Horton. We'll still continue to use him for the equipment, maintenance, sharpening and that sort of stuff at the end of each year so that we're ready to go. If we don't have the sprayer by the time we need to do the first spraying, he's willing to come the first month or 2 if we don't get it as quickly as we need to.
When do you do the first spray?
But, in about pretty darn quick, within the next couple of weeks.
Well, do you have a price? Did you want to approve it today? Go ahead.
So, because I'm not sure which one they are, I would like to make a motion motion that we approve, paying up to $12,000 for a sprayer for the golf course, a used sprayer, and Greg and Jarrett will go look at it. And the one thing that Hunter did say is make sure before you agree to buy anything, you make sure that it's been serviced. That needs to be a requirement. Make sure that they put water in it and you see it spray and that you know that it's working. He said, because they're getting rid of it for a reason. And so you are definitely taking a chance with a used piece of equipment. And he said, and there's nothing worse than to get it here and get it full and have $1,000 worth of chemicals in it and it not work. So he said, just be very careful. But I would like to make a motion that we authorize them to spend up to $12,000 on a sprayer so that we can start to do that type of maintenance in-house.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And then my hires for this year are Greg Federley, Rod Tidd, Ron Cole. I plan on only doing 3 full-timers this year. I would like to have Jim Kitchen as a backup only. In the clubhouse, Melissa Greer, Lee LaRock, and Richard, what's Richard's last name? Howard, there you go, I couldn't remember. And,
Okay, and Jim will fill out an application?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you make a motion to approve them? Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's all I've got. They've started, we had a meeting, all of us together, not just the 2 different groups. I think it went very, very well. Hope to have the clubhouse as soon as this weather breaks a little bit, but the course guys, the 2 of them have been started already and they've been going through equipment and there's lots of brush up along the side of that thing whenever you guys have a chance to pick it up, but they've been cleaning it up and we're coming, we're ready.
Is it stopped snowing?
Mm-hmm.
Dougie?
Oh, DPW?
DPW?
The only thing we got is everything's going well with the DPW. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, we got a sewer problem that we are gonna definitely take care of tomorrow. I mean, we're gonna try it anyway, we're gonna dig it tomorrow, and Jared can tell you more about it. I mean,
We, of course, it's an unknown, it's probably been in the ground since '73. We don't know what kind of material it's made of. So it's gonna be determining on what the fix is gonna be. If we can't get the stuff tomorrow, then we'll have to get it coming and patch it that way. Of course, everybody's seen the sweeper out. We started doing that, chipping, got the chipper out and chipped, picking of the brush from the storm. We did get a whole bunch that we once already down the highway that they came and got. Everybody knows we've seen the seawall that's been put in. The boat ramp on Hollis Street is open.
yes.
We got that taken care of,
That's all done,
so
yep.
that is open now to the public. The only other thing, Sandy, is I haven't heard anything from Greg Gagan. He would be, the gentleman that does our program for the pesticides.
Right. I know Greg Federley and him have been
Okay.
talking.
Okay,
And Greg has given him, because Greg also used him up at Lanebrook. So they are familiar and he should be,
'Cause
yeah, I
usually by
told him
now-
to go ahead and get it ordered and use the same
Yeah.
program we have used. And
Yes.
this year it will be expensive, because last year we didn't need to buy much, and this
Yeah.
year we will.
Usually I get an email from them by now, so I was just a little apprehensive about if
Okay.
there's been any communication.
Okay, I know they have been talking, and I
Oh,
told
good.
them to get it ordered.
Good. Again, like Doug said, we're gonna work on, Otter Street tomorrow. I'll probably close it off at the Edgewood Road and, up at the top of the hill, and only put local traffic. It's gonna be in the middle of the road. If we have to road seal it through the night, then we'll road seal it, but one way or the other, that part of it will be fixed by this weekend.
Okay,
That's it.
And hopefully, next week, we'll have the top of the wall done down there. We gotta pour some concrete on top of the wall to finish that wall off. We're looking at if the weather's fine, we'll go down there next week sometime and get that taken care of, down by the parking lot, on top of that new wall.
Okay, great.
Okay, I got one from, Pat, down to the water plant. The month of March is, and the water plant's in satisfactory condition. We just disassembled number one filter, because we're getting ready to look at replacing the filters, and we wanted to make sure they were bad. We didn't just want to order some, and so we did take one apart. It's time. It's ate up. The one we took apart was ate up pretty good, so we were all down there during the day. We took it apart and had it inspected. They completed, 10 work orders, 18 new meters in the month of March got put in. And they're doing a cleanup. They gotta knock the barnacles and clean that filter up, and then they're gonna start putting that back together. So we got the 3 filters for the summer, but, they're ate up pretty bad, so it's probably time. That's it for me. I don't have anything from Kevin. I didn't get anything from him, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay. I can say a little bit. We have, 3 people so far that want to be, dock attendants. We just don't technically have their applications yet, so we'll approve them next month. I only have 1 person that wants to come back as a lifeguard. If anybody knows anybody that wants to be a lifeguard, we need at least 4, 5 makes it work, depending on how much they want to work once they're here. So, I don't know. In the office, we seem to be working well together, or there's a much cheerier attitude here of late. I keep going in there and saying we have to be missing something because we are so ahead. We have the t-shirts that we need. The office is caught up and they listen to everybody and take direction, and it's hopefully, we're ready for the season to start in the office. Okay. I have a police report from Joshua David, officer in charge. To the village board, the police department had 9 complaints, 0 arrests, 5 parking tickets issued, and 0 warnings, 11 building checks. The police department has also hired another part-time patrol officer. The officer is replacing Officer Moran, who has resigned. I would also like to remind the citizens that I can be reached at 315-418-0058 to discuss any concerns or questions that they may have. I also have part-time patrol officer Pasquale Suris is the gentleman that he is talking about. I need a motion to hire him, and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Greg made that motion. I need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Right.
Also, we have, with the office and Josh's help, we'd like to hire Diana Fram as our meter attendant. She lives here, is excited to do it. Joel is not coming back this year. We tried bribing him back, and he says no, he's retired. Actually, his wife said no, he's retired, she's retired, and they want to travel and do their own thing. So I'd like a motion to hire Diana Fram as our meter attendant.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Sandy. She said she can do it.
People are in trouble.
I think
I'm just telling you that, if you guys know that. She'll talk them to death.
The revenue just went up.
That's a good thing. Well, maybe we won't have people parking where they're not supposed to be.
Don't think they will be.
No,
All right.
you've done great.
That's a good thing. Okay, next on my list is Gregor.
Yeah, so some updates on the water improvements project. Greg reviewed the condition of the filters. I was gonna ask you, Greg, did they receive the gaskets that they needed?
Pat still says they don't have it cleaned up yet, so he didn't say anything today about the gaskets.
Gaskets
I
coming
had
in.
to ask him, cause he's had some family
Okay.
issues. His dad passed away and stuff, so I'm just leaving him alone for a little bit.
Yeah, if he needs some help following up with
Yeah.
RP Adams, let me know.
I imagine he's got them by now.
hopefully they have arrived, you know. So just to follow on what Greg mentioned, the inspection report, which we handed out at the progress meeting last week, mentioned that the concern is with the metal thickness, mainly behind areas that were corroded. They scraped off some of the corrosion to check the metal thickness, and that's what their concern was during the inspection. I've got copies of that report if anyone else. Sandy, you weren't at the meeting, right? I can leave a copy with you if you wanna look at it. Our next progress meeting is scheduled for May 8th, and that'll be at 4 p.m.
Wednesday or Thursday?
So that, I think, is
We
a
did this.
Thursday.
It is a Thursday.
Are you good with that?
Yep.
We talked, okay.
Seemed to work for everyone. Other updates, we're working with Jim on the critical easements. We've sent a list of the critical easements. There may be some additional follow-on easements, but those were the ones that are critical to the water line construction and the ones that we'll need for proceeding with that. Funding updates, congressionally directed spending, it's called CDS, is the acronym. That was announced about a month ago. We just submitted last week. The funding actually comes through the two state senators, Schumer and Gillibrand. So we submitted the water project. There's no real clear guidance on how they score the projects or who's selected, but we submitted the water project on the village's behalf. Probably know in a few months if you're shortlisted for potential funding. Actually, Sandy and I talked to Jay Grazo. He completed your community development block grant application. The village was not successful, and I'm successful with that grant application last year. I think he mentioned the end of 24 is when they would have done the notifications, end of 24, beginning of 25. I think you still are eligible to apply again this year. And jump in, Sandy, if you want, but I think the goal would be to apply again and try to get some funding. That's up to $2 million worth of grant. You completed the income survey to qualify with their approval 5 years. So you still have an active income survey that was satisfactory. I would think you'd want to use that and try to apply again for the water project. See if you can be successful with that. I think this last round was very competitive. I think there were a lot of applications, and I think the town even applied, right, Brent, for something?
Yes.
And I think it's just, there's a lot of projects that went in for infrastructure this year, but I think you would want to apply for that again, see if you can get that additional funding.
I know last year, I don't remember exactly what it cost us, but we had to pay for, Jay wrote our grant for us and did the income survey.
Right,
The
yeah.
income survey is still good for, he said 5 years, but at least 3 years.
Right.
He had talked to people at the state, whatever, to find out why we didn't, what was missing or needed. And they basically said we had everything, crossed and dotted, and we were exactly what they're looking for. There was just so many out there that were in need, and I thought he said the number that were awarded was quite a bit less. I think he said there was maybe 13 awards.
Yeah, I think he did mention that was
Yeah,
fewer than the previous.
So there wasn't as many awards awarded, but he does think we have a very good application. He's more than happy to do another grant for us if we want. I think he said out of the 11 that were successful, he had written 7 of them. So, I mean, he does have a very good track record of doing that. He said it wouldn't cost anywhere near as much as last year. I don't know. He's supposed to get a hold of me again, where I can reach out to him if we're interested in doing I think
We should do it. What's the deadline on that? Do you know?
They haven't announced the, typically around the CFA process. So we get summer, typically,
it was, I believe it was August 15th or August, maybe it was July 31st, August 31st. It was right in that time frame last year. But we've talked to him and he knows that we're interested and he's supposed to be getting me the information.
Okay, then we can see.
yeah,
Other
yeah, I
combined,
think it's
one or
worth
the other.
using your income survey, and that's.
Okay,
Other updates, the plans were submitted back to the Department of Health, the Watertown District, and the Bureau of Water Supply Protection, which is in Albany. We're hopeful that they can approve the water line work and the tank work. And I noticed on the agenda tonight, I think it's worthwhile for the board to approve bidding the tank contingent on the health department giving the approval. That may occur between now and your next meeting. So that's something for the board to consider. And that would strictly be for the tank portion. We've talked about the water line and the improvement of the plant having the process being together. So this would strictly be the water storage tank.
so if we could do that now, I need a motion to put the water project out to bid for the tank pending DOH approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Leave the date for the bid opening.
Probably have it out advertised 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
You're not gonna put it out to bid until after their approval comes back?
Or if they give us a verbal approval, we would move ahead with it, yeah. So
And
either verbal or written,
Okay.
approval.
I thought when you said contingent on, that we were gonna go ahead and do it anyways. It's just, you can't move forward with the actual project until you get the health department approval.
Yeah, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think at our progress meeting, we talked about having them at least say, yep, go ahead, and, whether it's a verbal approval or, actual final approval. So once they say go, then we can advertise and then have a bid opening.
We did talk about verbal approval and just, if they
Right.
get to him.
If they say, yep, you're good, you got everything, ready to go, documents look good.
So there is no contingent upon, we're just,
Pending DOH
Or
approval.
pending, maybe, is
right.
Okay, anything else?
I think that's, yeah, I think that's, all the items, unless there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Nope, okay. Next on our list is Village Spring Cleanup Week. Jared, I'm assuming the office approved this with you?
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
Spring Cleanup Week would be May 5th through May 9th of this year?
Yes. Give us a week before, Victoria Week. Make sure that everything's picked up off the street, make sure it looks decent, so nothing's left out or anything. Right around Mother's Day, but we'll get it picked up and cleaned up, so it's done before Memorial in Victoria.
Anybody have any questions about that?
No.
Greg? Sandy? No? Do I have a motion to approve Village Cleanup Week, May 5th?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll second.
What do you guys have to do, right? All in favor? Aye? Okay. Okay, we have, everybody got in a packet that they have, the renewal rates for our health insurance. Does anybody have any questions on that? Otherwise, it is a 5% increase, and it is already, so we'd have to make sure she sees this if she hasn't already. Anyone have any questions? No? Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second?
I'm second it.
All in favor?
No,
Aye? No?
I'm a no.
Okay.
The reason I'm a no is, at some point in time, we need to address employees need to contribute to their health fund. We are the only municipality in the area that doesn't. It is virtually unheard of that employees aren't helping to contribute to their own health.
But we have to, I don't know, is this, I don't know if it's in the contract or not, but we have to wait for a contract to do it.
For the union people, yeah. What about the non-union? Because it is written in the police department thing. Now, it just so happens that we don't have anybody that's getting health insurance
Right.
through us because they're all part-timers. But it is written in that contract, because when Mike and I did it last year, we made sure it was in there. At what point do we address this with the non-unions? Because it needs to be addressed.
Okay, so we need to talk about it. We're going into executive after the meeting for personnel, and maybe we can discuss it with Jim, how to proceed for the employees that are not union, which would be who?
We can look at the DPWs too, because sometimes that health insurance is open for negotiation. I think I'm not sure. There's a line in the union for the DPW, in their contract that says we can approach them with a change in health insurance because of prices, I think. I think that's in there. It was when I was there, but I don't know if it is still. Didn't look at the insurance part of it.
I think it's something that needs to be.
But I would like to do them all at once. If we're gonna do it, I would like to do everybody. If you're gonna do one, you gotta do everybody.
Right.
It's not fair to
No.
do your non-union and your, I'd like to make it a group thing if we look into it and we're gonna do it.
Well, let's look into that on the union and see what that line item is there and see what we can do.
And right now, nobody in the office takes our health care,
Right.
so we have the opportunity to do that.
But I mean, right now, if you just said that was a 5% increase, so the DPW is giving us 13% wage increase plus 5% on that. That's 18% wage increase.
Well, this takes effect, the renewals in June, if somebody would like to call them. Is that something you'd like to deal with?
I mean, I don't think we're not gonna have any impact on that.
No.
I'm just saying.
Maybe next year.
It's not gonna change the rates of the carrier coming into us. You guys passed that.
Right.
I just voted no, because I think we need to address another side of it, and that's contributions from the employees.
Yep.
So you can tell them that we're a go.
Right, but
You
then we
passed
have
that
to have,
motion.
Right.
we have to have
I'm saying we need to discuss employees paying a portion of their own.
okay, everybody have a copy of the CSEA contract?
I do at home.
I think I've got one.
I can make
I've
sure
got one too at
everybody
home.
has a copy so we can look at that
Yep.
and discuss it. Okay,
I think it should be.
good. Next is annual compliance training. We got this letter from the town of Clayton. Good morning all. I am reaching out to you because the town of Clayton will be holding an annual compliance training instructed by Justin Taylor, Clayton Fire District, and Todd Caulfield, Jefferson County Safety Officer at the Thoreau Recreation Park on Wednesday, April 30th at 8:30 a.m. As always, we'd like to invite other municipalities the opportunity to send Highway, Public Work, and Buildings Ground Departments to receive training with us. We will provide lunch this year. Please let me know if your municipality is interested and the number of employees that will be attending. So the topics that they're covering are fire safety, workplace violence, bloodborne pathogens, hazard communications / right to know, lockout, tagout, accident investigation, personal protective equipment, hearing conservation, respirator safety, ladder safety, fall protection, scaffolding, chainsaw safety, confined space, and welding safety, a certificate of completion will be made for each in attendance. What do we think? Have we done this before?
We usually just do our own with our guys. We are liable to do the bloodborne, workplace violence, and, there's one more. There's only 3 of them that were,
Yeah,
had to
I think so too.
Yeah, harassment. Sexual harassment in the
Yeah,
workplace.
we usually do it right in-house. Most of my guys redo it.
And that's the one we had to cancel the other week because you guys were working down there, so when we have a day to do it,
We'll just do it here, to commit to something like that, and then something comes up, it's, we can do it ourselves, it's an online program ourselves, and,
Say workplace harassment and sexual harassment are online.
yeah, and, bloodborne pathogens.
so.
Which the,
I mean,
like.
we could send Jarrett, he would have them all in one day. I think it's a good idea, send the superintendent up there.
Okay, I'll make sure Jared has a copy. Okay. Talking about certificates, one thing we didn't talk about,
Was the voters.
yes,
Jarrett, we're picking up trash on these islands, and you're sending a guy out in a boat, and as of what was the date, you gotta have a
it's
boat?
this year,
That's
now.
January first,
Yeah.
they gotta have a voter certificate and license, so,
It's online, I think, mid-April here.
US.
Yeah.
It's already online.
yep,
So,
yep. You gotta make sure that, either they have it, or they take the course.
It's 6
and get it.
hours.
I think it's $25 for the course, I think
I was watching it 6, I did it 6
25
on Sunday.
To do Boat US, it's $25, and it says it's 4 to 6 hours, depending on how quickly you work. My son did it in 4.5, fast, and
Yeah.
The online, he did it
Well,
for
Yeah,
Because they said, the way I saw that, the Coast Guard auxiliary said, it's 4 nights in a row for 2 hours each night.
no, he did it.
I liked his better.
Yeah, he did it in a day and a half. He had to go do something, but then he finished it.
The Boat US one that I did is free.
it's free, Boat USA's free, I just did it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the one I did was free.
I told him it was free, but he said when he went through it, they forced a donation of $25.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gotta depend on where you click.
Well, he paid
And everything
$25.
was timed on it. You knew the answer, you could not answer that question until the timer timed out. Then you could answer the question.
Yeah, I took it a few years back I did. Yep.
yeah, I'll make sure.
Make sure
Yeah.
they got it, if they don't,
Yeah.
we gotta have it.
Yeah.
Cause if we'd be, if something ever happened,
Absolutely.
it'd come back on us.
Do I need a motion to approve that they must have that? Or we can, just because the state requires it?
I don't think there's a motion for that.
Okay. All right, I'm glad we thought of that. So we're not doing annual compliance training. Number 7, add bank signer, Erica. Right now, it's Mike and I on check signing and bank approval. And, they needed to move money from one account to another the other week to cover payroll. Mike wasn't around, and somebody had to deal with Sky to make it happen. So I was added on that to be able to do that online, and we really think we need somebody in the office, if we all agree to it, to do something like that. When she's moving money for payroll, wire transfers, usually gets direction from Tina or the bond people. But at this point, I feel comfortable enough asking her to do that. She would not be able to do anything on her own.
On her own.
Still need 2 people. So how do we feel about that?
I'm good.
Like I said, there's nothing she can do by herself, so I'm good with it too. Putting Erica on there.
Did you make the motion, Doug?
I'll make a motion to put Erica on the.
Greg?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. In your package, we had a gentleman stop by the other day named Garrett Quinn who told us that he stopped to see you
Oh, I sent them down to see you guys.
We appreciate it.
Cause I know when I tell you guys certain requirements, you don't always listen, so I said, you go down and you see them. So that when I tell them to do something, they won't think I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, he came in and he told us, he didn't tell us, you sent him though. But everybody has this, there are requirements now when you hire an outside contractor to come in and do a job, fix Lower James, we have to obtain a PRC number, wage schedule, there's all kinds of rules. So, and the contractor has to be registered with the state. That's the big thing. Anybody going to come into the village and do any work has to be registered with the state.
Is that over a certain number or any number?
Any number.
Yeah, he just told us, if somebody comes in here,
Anybody that works for you, that does anything.
I said, okay, what if we have a problem with our heating system and we have to get somebody in here to fix it? He said, they have to be registered with the state.
Well, any number that don't make it, it can be, right.
And it's $200 for them to
Right.
register.
And I think he said it was
It's
good for,
always a money grab,
Yep,
say it again?
that's what
just a
it,
money grab.
that's
Yeah, but-
absolutely what it is.
I think he said it was good for 3 years, I'm not sure, 2 or 3 years, but you have to do it, and there's a fine if you don't. They could get fined.
I was gonna say, who gets fined? Us for hiring them, or them for not having it?
Probably both.
Both, I would
Yeah, I
say.
would think both.
If we hire them without a number, we're gonna be in trouble.
Right. I was gonna say, it's up to us to verify that when we hire somebody that they have it.
Yep, they're
Right.
supposed to give us a copy of that form.
Right.
I mean, we have to know their hours, prevailing rate schedule, OSHA 10-hour course for certain jobs over a certain amount. Yeah, just all kinds of paperwork.
So you're done getting your little contractors anymore.
Yeah,
That's what I said to them.
right.
So what,
I said,
They're not
I'm
gonna
never
come
gonna
in
get
here.
new bathrooms up here.
okay. Then I have a letter from Mary
Clanahan.
Flanagan. Are you Mary Flanagan? Who was from the Board of Directors of the Painter Senior Center, wanted to come talk to us for a few minutes to tell us about the center, and she was already approved to come, and she's here.
Thank you. The Painter Senior Center is a 501c3 corporation that serves seniors 50 years old and older who are from the towns of Alexandria, Clayton, Cape Vincent, and Orleans. We survive as a 501c3 on donations and funded from grants if we do get any grants. And we have wonderful volunteers who help us out a great deal. Thank the Lord for them. And one of our major fundraisers during the year is a raffle that's just started for this year, a $10,000 prize. We offer opportunities for our seniors for socialization, for community meals, for all kinds of different activities, fitness programs, and we have a monthly dinner that our seniors are all welcome to come and have a full meal. There is entertainment provided, it's once a month, and the cost for that is $10. And where else can you get a full meal and entertainment in the evening for $10? And those dinners are sponsored by different organizations or businesses who like to help us out now and again. Thank goodness for them too. We do have 2 buses, 14 passenger buses that are both handicapped accessible. And we provide rides to our seniors who don't otherwise have a way to get to grocery stores, banks, post office, whatever they need. There is a schedule for those buses. And since we do serve the village of Alex Bay, you may have seen the buses come through the village at different times to pick up folks from Gordon Court or Briarwood or other places, that we would like to invite you to have a liaison to come to our board meetings, if you're interested. And those meetings are the third Wednesday of every month at 4:30 in the afternoon at the Painter Center in Clayton. And I do have, if anyone's interested, some calendars for our programs that are going on in April, just to give you an idea of what it is that we do. So, if anyone would like a copy of these, well, I don't have a lot, but
Okay, Glenn.
I have a few.
Sure, I get a $10 meal.
All right. Thank you. No.
There's a couple more.
Okay.
Did you say the third Wednesday, 4 p.m.
4:30.
or 30?
4:30.
Third Wednesday, 4:30, at the Painter Center. Thank you. Thank you for what you
having
do.
me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did I miss anything that anybody on the board has to say? Any public concerns?
Is this regular public concern now?
Yes.
I got thinking about something when Jared was talking. In the ordinance, is there anything in there about the cardboard boxes being broke down and put in other boxes or in plastic things? These poor guys, every Tuesday, the wind's gotta be blowing 100 miles an hour, and them cardboard boxes are every place, because nobody breaks them down. And I think that there should be something in the ordinance or something, letters sent out or something, because these poor guys are all over the streets picking cardboard boxes.
I agree, Shooky.
Was it tied with twine, Greg?
It's worse than milk jugs.
Yeah.
Milk jugs are worse.
I'd have to look, I think it was to be tied with twine.
Pardon me?
I think
Tied with
it should be
twine or
tied.
something.
Broken down and tied?
Tied with twine, I think is what
Well,
it said.
I think that, you know, I mean, I get sick of picking them up.
I don't think it needs to be an ordinance, I think you could just,
We take it to the county, but we have,
But I think these people ought to be notified. I mean, trash cans with no tops on them, bags beside them, and we're gonna get in the crow season now.
Yep.
The crows are gonna be all over the place. I mean, it's gonna be bad again.
Well, we can check into it in the office and we can let
I'll look
everybody
into that
know.
ordinance.
I know your trash has to be in a container,
I
and
just
it's
feel
not,
bad for you
and it's not
guys,
no more,
because
that's,
I mean, I watch
that's in the
garbage up and
ordinance.
everything.
I think it says lids too,
It says lids.
because I was reading it the other day,
Trash cans with lids.
something else.
And it can't be over 35 gallons, which we're getting up in those big black ones again. People are going up to them 80 gallons and they can't lift it up in the truck. So then they get mad because the guys are reaching in to get the bags out, and they're not reaching them out.
And-
We went through that for years.
You know,
Now
but
it's starting again.
if I run into a problem getting them molded on and stuff, do you guys weld down to the?
We can weld it, and you're gonna need it picked up in the air anyways to do it, you're not gonna be able to get up underneath it.
Yeah, that's what I figured, that we got wheels coming for it, so.
Just get the
We
wheels
gotta
out,
get a hold of you.
and we'll pick it up, take it down the bar and weld them on.
All right, well, we can get it, we'll check into it, we can get it on our
I know
website.
the trash can and covers is a thing, and we weren't supposed to pick them up if
Yeah.
they're not in trash
And
cans.
I used to try to spread
But if you leave it out there, it's.
the information, and they just go to the wayside.
What we need to do is we need to do probably another recycling one for, you know, like we did the flyers and put one right on everybody's trash can right out there, that's out there. 'Cause they put your trash plastic in a basket. And I'll tell you, it's a lot easier. I put a big plastic bag out with all my milk jugs. It's a milk jugs are worse. You stand there on a windy day down, it's like a snowstorm going down through the street with the milk jugs. But
Plastic.
but they put them out in the container and
I
there's no.
almost think it says in there, in the ordinance, and I could be wrong, garbage isn't even supposed to be out until after 5 o'clock. on
That's
Friday
nice.
night. There's garbage out on the street on Sunday. Sunday morning, the people put their garbage out for Tuesday.
Yep.
That should be put in there too.
Yeah, there, it is in there, because I was looking it up for
Yeah.
something else. They do have to have lids, they have to be tied. Maybe we'll get a flyer made up that we could put
We
out.
got the flyers, I got.
Maybe we can send it over to
I think we have the
TI
flyer.
Sun,
I was
it
gonna
should
say,
be in the paper.
we should put it in the sun again.
Yeah.
That's what
We should put
do.
the, yeah, 'cause we got the little orange stickers and the flyers.
Cause I don't know if you noticed, but there's gonna be a lot more garbage in everybody's garbage cans nowadays and stuff, and more recycling, and and it's getting all over the place. You take the cardboard to water cup?
Yeah.
How many trips a week?
We do it every 2 weeks, we take it
Every 2 weeks, you fill the compactor?
the compactor up, and then it's the second week we take it out.
We have a cardboard compactor for transfer site.
Yeah.
You don't have to break down the cardboard.
Yeah,
Break
yeah,
it down.
yeah, but, and with ours, we pack it, and I don't think we can back our machine up to yours to push it into yours. I mean, this is a trash truck that we pack it in, you know?
Yeah, but don't the towns just dump it on the floor up there, and then they put it in the baler? Oh, you got something different up there now?
We got a compactor from Waste Management, you throw it in this big chute, push a
Oh.
button, the
Yep.
tendon, push it.
I remember before, they used to put it in the barn up
Yeah,
there.
we used to.
Yeah.
Push a button and it compacts it, and then when that gets filled, they come and haul it away, Waste Management.
Yeah.
It's gotta cost you a fair amount to go pick that stuff up and take it to water company.
I mean, they don't charge us for it, it's not a charged income for tonnage or anything, you know?
Yeah.
We can look at it and see if we can push it out of the garbage truck with,
I-
that thing has
absolutely.
gone up. That
Maybe
thing has.
you should look at bringing it to us.
You know, well, like I said, if we can get it to you, but for us not to put it into a compactor,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
We've done that before years ago, and someone stood in the back of a dump truck and put it in, and took it up there and unloaded it, and boy, what a,
Then I got told to stand up by the gate.
you did too.
Because ours is free.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't pay for it out there though, right?
No.
It's just their time.
yeah.
One guy or two?
Right now, we're running one guy.
One guy runs the truck out, dumps it,
Oh,
comes
yeah.
back.
One guy picks up the cardboard by himself.
Yeah. And we used to have a newspaper and junk mail, and we put barrels in the back of the cardboard truck, and that same truck picks up newspaper and junk mail too, at the same time. Where that used to be a separate truck,
Yeah.
so. I'll stop up and take a look at it. I'll stop up and take a look at it, and see if
Yeah.
it's big enough to discharge into.
It's really worked well for us. We used to do what Debbie said,
Yeah,
it used
oh,
to all
yeah.
get thrown on the floor, then it went in the machine, and it got put in.
They had to load it up in the
And you had to
machine
put
and
the
pack it
wires
into
on it.
bales. I remember going down there and seeing them doing it, you know, that's how I know.
Can you push it in with your Bobcat? Can you push it in if it don't make it all the way in, or no?
I imagine it could. Like I said, it's good.
Cause I mean, if you got it close, just push it
We
right,
got a big chute.
we could just dump it there, and you
I'll
can
look
push it in with the Bobcat, if it's a spot.
Is it ground level, the chute where you're dumping
No,
into, or?
the chute's about this level.
Yeah.
Okay, any other public concern? Okay, we are going to adjourn to go into,
Entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
okay, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Make that motion.
Sandy, second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
For the village cleanup, is that household items or is it just brush?
So that's household items, it's like we usually do, it's no batteries, no things.
But is it brush or no? So, I'm glad I asked.
I never knew
Oh, God.
that the garbage had to be in a can with a lid.
Yeah, it's right on our,
Cause a lot of times, I've just got one, this week I had a lot of garbage out there. I tore out all my carpets. And I didn't wanna put it out last week, cause I was gone to the Tug Hill thing, and I was like, I didn't wanna put it out on a Sunday, so I was there this morning taking it out, and I had some big boxes, and I
garbage is
didn't know
something
what
we
the hell to do
really
with
gotta
them.
look at serious.
You know, and I just realized my guys don't put lids on all of them either. Some of them have lids, don't put lids.
But we gotta look at garbage
Well,
serious. It's
as
getting,
I said.
I know up in my house, if I don't have a lid
I think it's a
on
great
it,
idea to
throw it.
put it in a newspaper, if you've got one of those old flyers, you know, $80, make it a color one, and $80. I know that's what most of our color ads are, would be well worth it, run it for a couple of weeks, and just remind people.
Because I know up in where I live up there, at the end, the crows will be in it. If yours not a lid on my trash can, them
even if
crows,
you took your milk jug and ran a string through the handle,
tie them all together,
tie
right?
them together, them poor guys, when they get on the street, they're going 100 trucks. plastic, yeah, I mean,
I
you can
know,
just
well, they
barely
got 'em
move
in
it, a
barrels.
plastic note doesn't want.
Right, they got them in barrels, I mean, it's,
Soda
you know,
bottles and stuff, you know, I mean, there's no way to keep them in there. Not unless you crush them.
Okay.
I was hoping they'd go to streaming and we'd be done with the whole thing.
Greg, that was my idea when we got the new trash truck. The closest place I believe is Liverpool.
Yeah,
Oh, I
to dump it all